Hey everyone, it's the Hey Poopy podcast. What that booty do from poop to pleasure to health. Hosted by me, Dave.
And me, Ellen, two curious people who are removing the stigma from that stinker. Yeah, that beehole of yours. And why are we doing this? Because we love laughing and learning everything but and helping them to be the best they can be. And on today's episode, we have my dear old friend, Sucklord. He is a genius behind the entire fancy artistic action figure toy thing that's going on.
He is kind of a legend in that world. He makes the gay stormtroopers. He makes all kinds of bootleg toys. The guy is like a master of all trades, I guess, but the toy thing is his domain.
Yes. And he had me laughing till tears were streaming down my face. This was such a great interview to kick off this new year. I know we had an episode last week all about the pleasure of your butthole, but now here's the funny hemorrhoid shit your pants stories, or I guess he shit inside the pocket of his pants.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to listen in to hear that because he had so many great stories like out the gate, from when he was a little kid till a full adult, his trials and tribulations with hemorrhoids and sitting on the toilet too long. I mean, it's just like it's a comedy in itself.
He was amazing. Like this clip.
I've had girls shit on my dick before, and it's like, it's fun. You know, you just get
on purpose or
no, by accident. I like fucking girls in the ass. I just don't understand why, because you can't really tell the fucking difference that much. It's like I've had plenty of occasions where it was in the pussy and I thought it was in the ass, or it was in the ass and I thought it was in the pussy and I didn't even fucking know. So it's like, obviously it's not really so much of a sensual thing. It's like the idea of it, you know, but it's just like, I don't know. I've been with these women, these, I just like, without any preparation at all, just put it in their ass and fuck them in their ass and come in their ass. And there's no shit, there's no smell, there's no nothing. I was like, how do you use this? You know, it's like, I can never do that. I like walk around all day, you know, doing nothing. And then I touch my butthole and sniff it and it smells like poop. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why am I just such a dirty boy? You know, it's like, come on. I don't know what it is, but God bless these women, you know, for just, I don't know how they do it.
And you're going to hear more like that coming up on this fabulous episode with Sucklord. Also, have you checked out our website recently? You can check it out at heypoopypodcast.com for anything that you want to know about us, our merch, our email, suggestions. Go there.
Yes, we have it all. You can find out about us and everything you want to know about this show. So, and also, if you want, you can even leave a review or a comment. I mean, we love that stuff, and you get to read it on air, like this one.
Yeah, like I had some guy, and I can't pronounce his name, Hrain, Galston, wrote to me at the episode 140 on YouTube with Taylor Allen. Do the models complain about the smell of your farts, Ellen, behind the scenes? And no, actually they don't. I just make them laugh. I've never had a model complain about the smell of my farts. Maybe they're just not stinky. They're just very loud and funny.
Maybe they just want to wait till the shoot's done, and then they want to make sure that...
I mean, occasionally the models fart around me too.
Yeah, so it's an equal opportunity farting scene.
It's a two-way lane of farts.
Yeah, so keep those comments and reviews or whatever you want to call it coming, and we'll read them for you on this show. You get your little 15 minutes of fame. Well, not 15 minutes, but, 5 seconds of fame anyway. So, on to the shit show.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey, Poopy, how you doing? Hey, Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
Yes, it is a podcast about poop and many other things.
So much more. Hey, it's the Hey Poopy podcast with
Dave
and Ellen, and it's episode 150, but it'll always be number 2 to us. And we have a very special guest today. We have Sucklord on.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Sucklord, motherfucker.
It invites ridicule, I'm aware.
And so, Sucklord, before we go into what you do, we like to know about your poo. How have you been pooping recently?
Well, the last couple of days have been fine, but I just came off of a very, very rough stretch.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is like full disclosure. Like I've had some pretty unfortunate bathroom habits in the past, and they did some damage to my asshole. Yeah, I used to sit on the toilet for a really long time. Like sometimes an hour.
Oh,
you know,
Jesus.
with- yeah, because I learned a long time ago when I lived with my mom, and I lived with my mom way longer than like a grown man should. Apartment, and then we also had her girlfriend living there, and there wasn't a tremendous amount of privacy, so taking a shit was like my me time. And so I would like try to stretch it out, go in there with a cup of coffee and my computer, and I'd sit there and I'd just wait for the shit to come out. And sometimes it would come right away, sometimes it would come and go, and I would sit there for a while. And I guess you're not supposed to do that.
No.
What happened, even after I moved out, it just became sort of like a ritual for me. That's like how I started the day, and I wasn't quite ready to confront the world, so I would hermetically sort of seal myself in the bathroom with like a pot of coffee and a computer, and I would take an hour and just like, casually, and it blew my ass out, and I popped a lot of severe hemorrhoids. And, they're the worst. And
Fuck.
I just to the point where they've actually they've altered the consistency of my asshole.
Oh my goodness.
You got potholes?
We're getting right into this, but this is what it's about. I would pop these roids and they would come and go, and I didn't know how to get rid of them. And then like the sort of tissue around my ass just became loosened. And, yeah, it's like, it's not attractive. I mean, when I started shooting content for my OnlyFans earlier last year, I did a little butthole check with the mirror, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this, it's not photogenic. And so I went to the proctologist to see if there was anything that could be done, because there's this like little skin tag hanging off of it, and it just looks like this little berry, and it's not attractive, and it's like, it's gross enough as it is. So I went to the proctologist, and she poked around and looked at it. She drew a picture of my asshole and showed me all the pictures. And I was like, can't you just put like rubber bands around these things and just like, and she's like, that's the internal hemorrhoids. I didn't realize that hemorrhoids are actually naturally occurring things.
Yes, they're good for you. They're just bad when they get too full.
Right. So she sent me, she was like, you've got to change your bathroom habits. You can't be sitting on the toilet. And she prescribed for me a sit basin. Which was
Sitz bath.
It was the work. It didn't work. First of all, this is a Chinese doctor, right? I live in Chinatown, and I had my insurance was going to pay for this, but there was like only one pharmacy in my neighborhood that took this particular insurance, and it was just like this very, very Chinese only, no English pharmacy.
Okay.
So she called them up, and she's like, listen, keep an eye out for the Lofan coming to get a sit basin. So the pharmacy was like waiting for the Lofan with the butt lumps to show up, and it's on Pearl Street. So I get there, and everyone at this pharmacy just looks at me, and they know I like limped over there, because asshole is hanging out. And my body, I'm just, they did speak a little English, and I was like, I guess you know why I'm here, right? And then they give me this big pink plastic toilet seat that like fits on the pole, and you fill it with hot water, and you sit there, and it's supposed to soothe the swelling. So I did it, and the entirety of my rectum just came out.
Like you prolapsed?
Yeah, I prolapsed. It was just like this cluster of grapes, just like, oh my God, this is the opposite of what's supposed to fucking happen. So I said, I'm not doing this. Fuck that. So I did the opposite thing, and I stuck an ice cube up there. And that started working really well. Like if I'll take a shit, and I try to keep it short, I don't bring my phone in with me anymore. I just only go when like it's ready. I let it out, and I get my meditation elsewhere. But then when I come out of the bathroom, sometimes I get in the shower right away. Fortunately, I always shit in the morning before I leave the house. So I get in the shower, and as I'm washing my ass, I can feel around and see like what the damage is from that day. And if it's feeling a little distended or swollen, I'll just get an ice cube and just shove it up my ass and just sort of.
I feel like that's an OnlyFans video right there.
Maybe if people would pay for this, I'd happily.
Oh, they would.
and everything shrinks up perfectly. It's great. So now at least it's like I get out. It's like sometimes it feels a little soft or a little swollen, and then I ice it, and it's fucking it's a torture to do that. It's so painful, you know. But it's like I can't walk around with a flappy butthole. So it's like,
Oh,
so and then it just tightens up and it becomes this terse little puckering donut, which is what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Now I can take the day. But anyway, just recently, I don't know what happened. I got careless and I popped a roid, and so fucking painful. It was so painful, and I haven't had one. It was just like, you got to be real selective. It's like you got to just wait until it's about to come out, and then you go and you dispatch, and you get out, and then you got to go in the shower and wash, and then tuck it back up in.
Oh my God. It's like you have a hernia.
Anyway, it's better now. But I mean, what I wanted to do though, and maybe I'll do it. I want to go to one of the asshole refurbishment doctors.
Mm-hmm.
They have those, right?
asshole plasty.
Have them just like snip off and stitch up all the little loose flesh and just give my asshole a facelift. So if it just happens to show up on camera, when I'm having sex or whatever, it doesn't ruin the mood.
Yeah.
I always hate the guy's asshole in the porno, and if it's like,
we have 2 doctor friends I can totally introduce you to that could probably help your asshole. So
okay, great. It's expensive though, isn't it?
yeah, but one of the doctor friends actually she's a proctologist, Dr. Fong in Chinatown. She's been on the show a bunch of times. I can introduce you. She would probably take your insurance because she works with milk cyanide. But the other one is Dr. Evan Goldstein with Bespoke Surgical, and he's like the gynecologist of buttholes.
But this is cosmetic surgery, so I don't know.
No, they will point you in the right direction. They might be able to do something that's more than just cosmetic.
Oh, well, that'd be fine. But I mean, I feel like this should all be documented.
Yeah, I'm there. Dave?
Yeah, bring your camera. Hey,
let's do this.
I've seen a TV show for a while, and I was figured maybe I'll just live with a flaccid anus until I can get this on like
a tail.
People need to know about this stuff.
Yeah. Back up. I mean, first of all, Floppy Butthole should be your AKA porn name. 2, so that sucks you to go through all that. But so how did you shit? Did you shit today then? Was it like a nightmare?
Yeah, no, everything's back to normal now.
Oh, okay.
It's like ago, it went away, and everything's fine. I'm just being careful. I have to just change my habits because I identified so much with that morning ritual, and I associated taking a long dump with preparing myself for the day and getting my thoughts together and reading. So I just do that, and I just sit. I realized like I could do that without having to sit on the toilet. It's like that.
Yeah.
And then when I gotta go, I just make it quick. I don't take my phone with me. I only take like a little bit of coffee, and because the coffee makes me go like immediately. Yeah. I am fortunate in the fact that I do shit in the morning. It's almost like a German train schedule. It's like
I love it. It's like the best. Right in the morning, get it out.
Once a day. It all happens in the morning, and then it doesn't come up again. So I just have to make sure that I'm just a little bit more selective about.
On the Bristol stool chart, do you know where you are? Are you smooth like a sausage? Do you have cracks in it? Is it more liquidy?
It varies from day to day depending on what I eat. But I eat relatively healthy food. I eat a lot of grains and vegetables, and I take psyllium husk.
Oh, that's good.
And acidophilus. So usually I get some pretty solid struns. Occasionally I lay a mud pie. Sometimes it's like a smooth, you'd be laying those J's.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes up at just like a bunch of logs, but it's usually comes out fine.
That's good.
Nice.
I mean,
Dave, what about you? How's your poopies been?
Fine. I went twice today.
Ooh.
Nothing to write home about. Just my usual. I had a huge shit actually at lunch. But I flushed it before I didn't look back or anything. I just flushed it first and then cleaned up. But yeah. Other than that, just run of the mill 2 times. Usually I go 2 to 3 times a day. So
that's good that you're staying consistent.
Well,
has anything changed?
No.
From after your biome?
I think my diet's been the same, and I've been eating less breakfast. It's weird. If I don't work out like early in the morning, I just don't eat breakfast. But then if I do work out, I'll eat breakfast first, like a light breakfast, and then do something. But usually I've been working out at night, so I just usually skip breakfast or have like, something super light, but nothing really. I mean, I'm taking more ginger. That's been helping.
Oh,
And just the normal everyday stuff, I guess. How about you, Ellen?
I have pooped. Drum roll, please.
Oh, my drum
Five.
thing. 5
Oh.
times?
5 times today.
Wow.
Why?
What?
Why?
I'm about to tell you. So we are coming right out of Christmas. I made this incredible risotto for Christmas, and I indulged in probably too much cheese and other fun stuff on Christmas that I have been a little blocked up. So even on Christmas Day, I took the papaya enzymes and a Swiss Chris, aka a laxative, and I had a little bit of movement the next day. And so this is what? 4 days after Christmas, I've been pretty much popping a Swiss Chris every night to see if it'll come out of me. And yesterday my pants felt so tight. I was like, okay, I have a lot of poo blocked up in here. So I took 2 Swiss Chris last night before going to bed. And the first thing that happened as soon as I woke up, I was like, whoop, I got to go to the bathroom. I sat down on the toilet and it almost didn't want to come out. It was like the plug that was holding the dam together. And I looked down in the bowl after I pinched this thing out that felt much bigger than it should have. It was cracked and in like almost a Z-like pattern. It was insane. It looked like the character from the Goonies face. You know that guy Chonk? It looked like his face.
Sloth, you mean?
Sloth, thank you. It looked like Sloth's face. I shit into the bowl. It
Wow.
was like a Bristol chew.
Did it have hair on the top?
Almost. Like it was like wonky eyes and everything. And then after that, I then pooped out 2 massive 4s. It was like the dams had opened. And I did 2 massive 4s. And then the last 2 massive shits I've made were kind of like a 5. Nothing was diarrhea, all solid. The last 2, though, also had a burning of the butthole feeling where there was too much acid in it. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to do the ice cube up the rear end like you, Sucklord. But it was quite painful. And I will keep you guys posted if I shit any more today, because it's still, the day is not over.
Yeah.
But I feel my pants are no longer tight.
That's good.
I had 5 doo-doos today.
Supply
Wow.
chain issue.
Definitely. Shit. That's a lot of shit. All right.
Does that do it? Is the cheese really a culprit for you as far as like it looks?
Yeah, just pretty much any good food that I only really kind of indulge in here and there during the holidays or on vacation, I will get blocked up. Oh, I also, we made my partner made Cornish hens. And so I was like, I love a chicken sandwich with just like toasted bread, a little bit of butter, and like cold chicken on it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get some gluten-free bread. And of course, gluten-free bread also makes me constipated as fuck. So yeah, it's just been a recipe for disaster. And I needed to break the plug with a lot of laxatives.
Oh,
Jesus. Feels like a nightmare. Yeah,
but also a vacation.
Have you ever done the master cleanse
No.
I did that once.
with the saltwater flush?
Yeah.
Oof.
I did all
That's
that.
some crazy.
The cayenne pepper.
Yeah, but the thing is that the saltwater flush is really the crazy one, because you don't eat for a long period of time, and you have to drink this glass of salt water. And what happens is because it's salt water, it doesn't go through your bladder. It exits the body. For some reason your body doesn't interpret it as piss. So it comes out of your ass. So you just be sitting there and just like blasting all this hot
Yeah.
and it just, depending on where you are in the process, it like the color changes. It goes from like brown to yellow, but it just really comes blasting. I mean, it's so hard to choke down that salt water. I mean, it's just not natural.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, but it's so hard. But once you get it in there, it feels great. It just comes shooting out. It's like it just echoes.
Yeah, it's like a faucet.
You know when you be farting or shitting and like it echoes and reverberates inside the. I mean, the sound effects are off.
I posted some videos like that on our Instagram if people want to check it out recently, of like that TikTok challenge where like the girl's sexy in the doorway and then it goes like red light and she's like even sexier. But the video I posted, the girl's like sexy in the doorway and then it's the red light and she's on the toilet blasting her ass out.
So good.
And talking about blasting asses out, I know this isn't human poop related, but our dog just turned 12 on Friday, and my partner also got her a peanut butter like doggy cake that was about the size of like 2 softballs. It was massive, and she ate that whole thing in about 1 minute. She just like inhaled it like a snake. And our dog never likes to get out of bed in the morning. So if she does jump out of bed before we get up, we know something's wrong. And at 7 a.m., not even 12 hours later, about 10 hours later, the dog shot out of the bed. And I woke up my partner and I was like, you got it. The dog's going to shit. The dog's going to shit. And he took her out into the backyard and he said just liquid hot peanut butter was just shooting out of her butt.
That's so gross. Oh my God.
Just, and I was like, did you pick it up? He's like, oh, I didn't touch it. I'm just leaving it out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine you want to touch that. Ugh. No,
Would
thank
you.
you.
Even pick something like that up?
Wait, say that again?
How could you pick something like that up? It's almost intangible.
I don't know.
So you couldn't even like, you wouldn't be able to like.
Nature.
Yeah. Yeah, let it absorb back into the ground. Ugh.
Yeah. And that cake was not cheap. And it was literally 1 minute of pleasure. 10 hours later, just all pain.
Jesus.
Boy.
Well, at least you didn't shit in your bed.
Oh my God. Thank
That would
God.
have been a nightmare. I get a new bed.
Blech.
Well, now that we know about Ellen's whole holiday shitting experience.
My festive shits.
Sucklord, tell us, I mean, for our people at the audience that don't know, let people know, like, what do you do? Like, what you're about?
That's a really good fucking question, which I am still trying to answer. But I guess for practical purposes, I'm mostly famous for making ironic bootleg action figures and passing them off as art. I make a lot of gay Star Wars toys, all like sort of handmade, limited edition, boutique, if you will, artisanal action
Bespoke.
figures, as described by the New York fucking Times of all people. Yeah, and I've been doing that for about 15 years professionally. I work out of a sweatshop in Chinatown, and I've been on television a couple of times. I've been on a few reality shows, The Dating Game. I was on a dating makeover show on VH1, and I was on a couple of Bravo shows. And I'm also just like a man about town on the New York scene. And occasionally I play music. And that's it. That's what I do. I guess I'm some kind of artist.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw your work. I mean, before years ago. Like, I think Vice did some kind of profile on you, maybe, or maybe it was like, I don't know. I can't remember what outlet did it, but
the Voice once, Village Voice.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
And then I had some video floating around. It wasn't part of Vice, but there was some viral video of me like standing action figures.
Yes, that was the one I saw.
Really deep, important philosophical shit. And now I'm an NFT asshole. So.
Oh shit! I should talk to you about that.
Yeah, we can talk.
Yeah,
it's.
I know. I already told Sucklord that me and my friend Laura have to get together with him. So maybe you should teach classes, Sucklord, on how
I'm not
NFTs.
quite there yet. I'm not quite there yet. I mean, I'm just I mean, it's like I know how to make them. It's like until I like make $1 million selling them. I don't think I'm really the guy to talk to. But people have been threatening to buy an NFT of my piss jar. So
whoa,
maybe we could sell literal pieces.
Probably.
Of shit.
I have an idea, and I will even help you make this. But with your gay stormtroopers, I think you should do like maybe a stop motion video where they're putting ice cubes in your broken butthole. It'll be huge. Gay guys will go crazy for that OnlyFans.
Okay.
OnlyFans content. There you go.
I have made animated videos with like action figures going into women's orifices. So not like I haven't thought.
Yeah,
feel like
but
I've been
let's go
down that
gay
road
with
before.
this.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I would.
I mean, you could do it without me, but I'm just
No,
spitballing an idea for you here.
You've got a great eye, and it would add a lot of credibility and cachet.
Yeah.
And then we can take a picture of it
To your
and turn it
brand.
into an NFT.
Let's get my asshole tuned up first. You know, I don't want to make a video that features my asshole until it's been sort of recalibrated.
Well,
You
what
wanna-
if we
you
did
wanna
some
get a camera
before and
ready.
after?
Yeah.
I think we should do before and
Ready for
after.
my close-up. What?
We should do before and after.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Now you just want it camera ready to go. Let's do this. Action.
Very vain, and it's just like I don't know if I want. I don't want that butt berry hanging out there. You know, it'll distract from the action. You know?
There's supposedly a famous porn star who has a prolapsed anus who like he can push it out and suck it back in like an alien, and people love it. They go crazy for this magical butthole.
I don't want to encroach on somebody's shtick, you know. That's fine. I don't need to be revealing any inner booty sanctum, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm trying to make you money.
How the sausage is made. You just want the actual you want the final product.
Take the suggestions, but one thing at a time.
I'm just saying, like, if you want to tap into that gay market, that's where the money is.
I'm fine with that.
Floppy buttholes are a thing in the gay community.
It is.
Oh, whew.
The
Floppy
fisting
buttholes.
community.
Good
I mean,
point.
I'm not doing that. It's like I like having things up my ass, but it's messy, man.
Yeah, can be.
It's messy. I really kind of I've always kind of keep the butt play to my solo time, just because I just I shit pretty good, but it's never entirely clean. It's like I have this very special ass toy that I like to use, which is broken now. I have to get a new one. You know, it's like a bendy vibrating wand with like a little point at the end, and it's just like I can angle it perfectly. So when I'm sitting in front of my computer jerking off, I can angle it where just the point of it hits the exact spot on the prostate that is the cum button. And well, every time I pull it out, there's always some residue on there, and it's just like I don't want to put anybody through that. It's one thing if girl shits on your dick, it's not that big of a deal, but when I do it, it's not sexy at all, and it's just like inflict that on anybody.
Hey, we're not here to yuck anybody's yum. We're here to celebrate your butthole.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's just like that's my boundary.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
I get it.
It's like if somebody wants to lick my ass or put their finger up there, that's fine, but it's just like I can't promise you that it's not gonna get fecal, and you know, I'm not attractive enough to like get away with it. I mean, I've had girls shit on my.
Sorry.
Wait, say that again, Sucklord?
I've had girls shit on my dick before, and it's like it's fine. You know, you just get
on purpose or
no, by accident. I like fucking girls in the ass. I don't understand why, because you can't really tell the fucking difference that much. It's like I've been plenty of occasions where it was in the pussy and I thought it was in the ass, or it was in the ass and I thought it was in the pussy, and I didn't even fucking know. So it's like, obviously it's not really so much of a sensual thing. It's like the idea of it, you know, but it's like, I don't know. I've been with these women, these, I just like, without any preparation at all, just put it in their ass and fuck them in the ass and come in their ass. And there's no shit, there's no smell, there's no nothing. It was like, how do you use this? You know, it's like, I can never do that. I like walk around all day, you know, doing nothing. And then I touch my butthole and sniff it and it smells like poop. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why am I just such a dirty boy? You know, it's like, come on. I don't know what it is, but God bless these women, you know, I don't know how they do it. But
you gotta make a video or how to keep your asshole like minty fresh all times.
I don't know. I mean, I have like a little handheld bidet that I have in my studio. It's like, cause like I have to take a shower after I take a shit. If I take a rare, you know, unscheduled poop and I'm away from the shower, then I'm in trouble, so it's just like, no matter how much I wipe it, there always leaves that pasty film on the back of your balls, and it's just fucking gross. So I have this little handheld machine. You saw it, Ellen, right?
Yeah, I did.
It's a little handheld bidet, and you just fill it with water. You just clean your ass and you wipe
It's
it
like
off.
a little wand almost.
A little magic wand for
Cool.
cleaning your ass. It's like it comes in handy. It's like for traveling and shit like that. When you go on an airplane for 23 hours flying to Asia, you got to have something like that.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
just
I recently did a photo shoot at Sucklord's studio, and when I got there, I had to pee so badly. And so we all know on the show, if I have to pee really badly, it'll push poo out. And so I was showing Sucklord that I had the cleanse, the foaming stuff to turn it into, and he was like, "What are you bringing into the bathroom?" Because it was like, it wasn't his studio's bathroom. It was like in the hallway that the whole hallway show, the whole floor shares. And remember, Sucklord, I was like, I gotta go so bad. I can't hold it. What's going on in there? And I totally interrupted some poor man taking a long ass dump.
Oh God!
You just like open the door on him.
No, he just finally came out after 15 minutes.
Oh,
Nothing worse than like trying to take a shit and somebody's waiting for you to finish.
It's the bane of my life. That's like, I hate that. So you're out in the bar. Well, when you used to go to bars, at a restaurant or bar, and someone's just like, they do that knock. You're like, I'll be out in a minute, and they keep doing that knock. You're like, fuck you.
Knock, right?
Oh,
It's like you can. It's amazing how much like attitude can be conveyed in a
Mhm.
knock.
100%.
It's just like no respect. It's like for someone like you ever if somebody's in there taking a shit, you're like, oh, this fucking asshole. It's like, what are you disrupting? Like the easy flow of society by fucking taking a shit over here. Where others have to use the bathroom. It's like how incredibly selfish of you. And like you're so vulnerable in there, like, oh, just pooping.
I just yell now. I yell. I'm like, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Like shitting people because we hate weakness. You're vulnerable and weak when you're taking a shit.
Yes.
And we, as a society, we hate weakness. So it's just like the shitting are always deserving of mockery and disdain and scorn by the not.
It's the bathroom. That's where we're supposed to do it. I'm not supposed to stick a shit in the middle of your floor, so it's gonna happen.
Sometimes it happens. I've shit on the floor in my own home.
Okay. Go into that story, please, sir.
Okay. I'm such a creature of habit and ritual, and like when I was really, really deep into my like sort of morning shit routine, it's like I had to have the coffee. It's like I refused to sit down until the coffee's ready. So sometimes I wake up and I have to go immediately, and I'm like sitting there boiling the water for the coffee. I use like a French press, so I'm just like standing there, and I'm like standing there naked, hopping from one foot to the other, trying to keep the shit in there. When all I could do is just go in the bathroom and pinch the loaf, but it's like, no, the coffee has to be there, and there's no flexibility here. And then just sometimes like it was taking so long for the water to boil, and then I lost control and just bloop. And then there's like fucking cow flop on the ground. It's just like, thank God it's just a rolling on the floor and I can clean it up. But it's just like I'm such an asshole and I'm so rigid in my thinking and habits that like I couldn't. I would rather I put myself in a position of shitting on the floor rather than break my ritual. And I'm trying as I get older. I'm trying to be a little bit more flexible with myself.
I mean, you're not the first. You're not the only person on this show that's shit in the bathroom or kitchen. So,
but they probably do it on purpose because that's their thing, right?
No.
They were making breakfast and it just sort of happened.
Yeah, we've had all kinds of people. Well, we had people who shit in a plastic bag on their kitchen floor because their bathroom was busy. We had somebody actually listening to our podcast making breakfast naked and shit and squeezed out a shirt, and it ended up being poop on their kitchen floor. We've had them all.
I mean, I've shit and I've done a lot of really I've had a lot of accidents. At one time I shit in my back pocket and shit all over my iPhone.
Wait. Let's go. I want to know this magic trick about how you shit into your back pocket.
Okay. I was at a toy convention in California a couple years ago. This is why my friend bought me the bidet, because he didn't want this to happen to me again. I was at this convention called Designer Con, and I'm kind of a big deal in that world. and I was actually going to be broadcasting. It's going to be doing a live stream. And unfortunately, just because I was out of my routine, I was traveling, I was staying in a hotel. I didn't shit before I left the hotel. I thought I could get through the day without it, but I couldn't. So I had to go into the men's room and take a shit. So I'm sitting on the toilet, taking a shit or whatever, and looking at my phone. And then I forgot, for whatever reason, I thought I was done. I guess there was like a little pinch that didn't happen. And for some reason, I had to stand up with my pants down. Like, I think I had hung my jacket up on the door, and I think maybe I stood up to like get my phone out of my jacket. And I guess there was like one like pinch that didn't happen until I stood up. And unbeknownst to me, it dropped straight down into the back pocket of my brand new Mishka pants,
Mishka.
So I didn't even realize it. So I wiped my ass the best as I could. You ever do that disgusting thing where you use the toilet water to clean your ass with? Don't do that.
Oh yeah, that's a nightmare.
So anyway, so I wipe my ass the best that I can, and I stand up, I pull my pants up, and then I stick my phone in my back pocket. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And I pull it out, and there's like dew all over my phone. Into the little hole with the battery charger, Oh no, I gotta like go live stream in a few minutes using this fucking phone, and it's got shit all over it. So I got the phone up the best I can. I could not get the wet shit out of the phone, the charger port.
Oh yeah, that's like stepping in dog shit. Just gets all stuck in the nook and crannies.
I waited till it dried, and then I get it out with a toothpick. I turned, I flaked it out. But I got like the whole back pocket has got like a smeared doo-doo in it. So I'm like, took my pants off, and I'm standing in this very well-attended public bathroom in my fucking underwear. I'm wearing a jacket, like a suit jacket, and I'm like washing shit out of the back pocket of my fucking favorite burgundy Mishka pants designed by L'Amour Supreme. And I'm like, I don't care. It's like, it's like, fuck you, buddy. Everyone's standing around me waiting to use the sink. I'm like, take a fucking number. I'm not fucking dog shit with my own dog shit in my back pocket. So I got that cleaned up eventually, and then get on with my life just fine. But I told my friend, and he was like, and the next day he like ordered that bidet for me on Amazon, and he's just like, we can't let that happen to you again, buddy. But whatever, these things happen. It's like, it's such a positive. Every once in a while, I just suppose, like, I think shit smells and is gross, is God's way of keeping us humble.
Yes.
Also, I mean, my God, that must, even though, no matter how much you try to clean that out, all you're going to just be doing is smelling shit as you're doing a live stream. Like, you must have been going crazy in your mind. Like, this is fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it ruined everything.
Of course.
It ruined everything. I mean, I managed to pull it off and nobody knew. Of course, I went on the live stream and I immediately told everybody what had happened. It's part of the folklore.
Now you can sell those. God. You should sell those jeans. They're probably like, you're like, these are the jeans.
The jeans.
Yeah.
I still have I've shit in my pants a lot. Like, especially when I was in junior high school. I went to a really, really tough junior high school, into IS-70 on 17th Street. Which is now, that place is called Chelsea. And it's nice. But I was there in the early 80s, like 81, 82, and that was a very, very, that was a scary area.
Yeah.
And like, it was a lot of tough kids. The projects were right over there. I was one of the weak little white boys that used to get picked on all the time. This was a school that used to celebrate Kill the White Boy Day.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's just like, and for some reason, the bathrooms were designed by this sadistic architect or whatever, where there were no doors on the stalls.
Oh my God.
You go to these public schools that were built in like the 60s or 70s, and like so much like bad behavior happens in those stalls that prevent kids from like smoking or doing drugs. They just like don't put the door on there, and it's just like there's no, and like mean tough kids hang out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I shit really bad. And I was sitting in the front row of English class, and like I had a shit so bad And there's just no way I'm going to go in there and pull my pants down and sit in that stall while all the tough kids who are smoking cigarettes in there and give them an opportunity to fuck with me, and to harass me and mock me while I'm trying to take a shit. It was preferable to just shit my fucking pants, So I thought maybe if I just I'm sitting in front and I'm like, if I maybe just let a little bit out, it'll relieve the pressure, right? So, and then suddenly, and this whole just torrent of diarrhea comes out. And so I raised my hand. I asked permission to go to the bathroom because it's I got to expect damage here because it's fucking first period. And it's is this something I can carry with me for the whole goddamn day? So I go to the bathroom and thankfully there was nobody in there. I unbutton my pants and I look in there and I can't even see my dick because it's buried in shit. My whole fucking underwear is just filled with diarrhea. I can't see my dick. Not that there's much to see, but it was just oh my God, there's no way. So I go back and I tell the teacher, I'm sick, I have to go home. So I go down. Okay, so I go down to the principal's office and I have them call my mom to pick me up, and then I'm sitting there and they do that trick where you put your coat over your lap, so nobody knows, and I'm just sitting there in my own shit. My mom finally comes to pick me up in her friend's car, and I get in the back seat, and they're gonna drive me home, and I'm like, Ma, I just got to tell you, I'm not really sick. I shit in my pants, and they're like, we know.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Funked the car up so bad.
I mean, that is sick. If you shit your pants, because that is being sick. That's a different kind of sick.
I wasn't sick. I just had to take a shit, and it was preferable to shit my pants and go home than to submit myself to the abuse that could have been on me. That school was a fucking being in prison.
I'm sorry to laugh at your childhood pain, but I'm crying laughing so hard.
It's really funny.
But I mean, thank God it happened because I was quite the fecophile when I was a child.
Ooh.
I guess there's a Freudian phase of development, where you become obsessed with the shit. And this is right before I became interested in sex. I was just obsessed with shit when I was 10, 11. And I had a friend of mine who was a little older, and we used to do just the most deranged stuff with our shit. We used to my mom's friend had a boat, right? And we used to go out into the Long Island Sound, and she would take the boat out, and and then the water wasn't that deep; it was 3.5 feet deep, so we could go in there and go swimming, and we would shit in the water and then throw it at each other. I would shit, I would pick it up, throw it at my friend, and then he throw it back at me. In fact, one time I got this massive lump on my head because we were out having a snowball fight, and there was this frozen piece of dog shit on the ground. I actually have this on videotape. We were throwing this piece of frozen dog shit back and forth, and it hit me in the forehead, and it was like getting hit in the head with a fucking rock. It just left this huge lump on my head. And we had this old school, we would point it out the window and film ourselves having a snowball fight. So there's this long shot of these two kids having a snowball fight, and then there's this little black dot that's going back and forth around the dog shit that we kept tossing around and all that stuff. I mean, we used to do shit for revenge. We used to my friend was very a vindictive person, and he would take every little slight is just profound offense and needed to get fecal vengeance on these people. So there was this little magazine store on Bleecker Street that we used to go into, to buy our little Star Wars magazines and shit like that. And I guess the guy running it was this old crank, and he yelled at us because he thought we were shoplifting or something like that. So we left, and he was he wanted to get back at this guy, and it's we're sitting there thinking about this this master plan, how to inflict some kind of damage on the store, and he's we must leave shit in the store, so it was okay, fine, let's do it. So we needed to procure the shit. So me and these 3 other little kids, we lay the newspaper on the floor, and my friend was going to be the one to take the shit. We all had to watch him take the shit, to make sure it was a good one, so he squats over this thing, and he leaves this big fucking spoons on the fucking newspaper, and we tie it up in a plastic bag, and then we want to get it to the store immediately, you know, but like my grandmother used to sit in the room by the door, you know, and like for some reason we felt like she's gonna know. We can't walk by her with the bag of shit because she's gonna know.
Because
You know,
she'll smell it.
yeah, she was always up in our business, so it's just like she's gonna know. So we threw the shit out the window and out this. We had like a courtyard in the back of the building. We were on like the 3rd floor, so you throw it and it was like boom. It makes this big echoing noise when it hits the fucking ground, and it's like, oh my god, we gotta fucking hear it. So we sneak, hey grandma, I'm going out. So then we go down there and we got to get down to the backyard before someone steals it or finds it, you know. And we get it, and instead we take it. We go to the store, and the plan was I'm going to distract the proprietor of the store, and he's going to go and he's going to dump it out by the magazine. So I'm there like acting like I'm buying some fucking trading cards or whatever, and I look over and he's in the magazine. He's got this very serious, furtive look on his face as he's very strategically dumping this plastic bag with this big fucking turd like right there in the fucking middle of the store. And then he's done. It was like, okay, and we run out, you know, and we're like, ha ha, yeah, we did it, we got him. And like, I don't know whatever happened, but I mean, imagining that some damage was inflicted on this proprietor finding like some fucking big fucking log of shit, you know. And then the final one was we were really into Star Wars, right? Return of the Jedi came out, and it got a bad review in the New York Post. The filmer Rex Reed, he's like a big
God, I remember Rex Reed, yeah.
He gave like Return of the Jedi like a bad review. So of course my friend is, we have to mail him some shit. So we go through the same process again, and he shits in a box, but we decided this time we're gonna let the shit ferment. So we like hid the box in the backyard, you know, and left it there for like a week, right? And then we, you know, and after a week, we're counting down the days till the shit's ready, you know, to send to Rex Reed. So we go into the backyard and we take the box and we open it. And of course, we have to smell it to make sure that it's. It smelled so fucking gross. I remember my friend's face when he was softening his own shit. It was like, okay, cool. We wrap it up, and then we put a plastic fork and a plastic knife in there with it, as is to imply, ha, get it, eat shit. And we tape up the box, and then we write like Rex Reed, care of the New York Post, you know, P.O. Box, New York, whatever. We go to the post office and we mail it to him. No explanation as to like why he's getting a box of shit. Because we talked bad about Star Wars, now you have to eat shit. We just mailed it. I don't know whatever happened to it. It's like, I don't even know if it's legal to mail shit.
No.
So that's what we
especially in New York.
Yeah.
New York, you're not allowed to mail anything that's biohazard. Dave recently had to go to Connecticut.
You're talking about what year is Return of the Jedi?
like 83.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have any rules about that shit. They're like, who's mailing shit? But yeah,
that's why they have the rules now.
I'm sure Rex Reed. What?
I'm imagining people do it all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean Rex. That probably was not the first box of shit Rex Reed got.
He was a contemptible person.
Yeah.
I heard years ago of a service that you could hire the service to mail shit to somebody, but it would always be a different kind of animal shit. And like dog shit was like a certain price, but you could go as far as to mail them elephant shit. It was just more expensive because it was a bigger package, but you hired the service to mail the shit for you. So you would have like no return address and everything. And I was like, what a genius service.
Just like revenge for hire type thing.
I've heard of that. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I wonder if that still exists.
I know, right?
Also, we need to get your friend on the show. This dude's like a multiple shitter.
You know, we were like 10 and he was like 17. So, but you know, I was the evil, diabolical mastermind behind all this stuff. I used to manipulate my friends into doing all kinds of degrading stuff.
Oh, that's so funny.
You know, that's what we used to do. But I will say though, I mean, I thought I listened to that episode you did with the scat guy, and first of all, props to that dude, because that takes some real fucking guts to come on the air and use your real name and your real identity and talk about all that stuff so explicitly, because that, I would say, aside from maybe necrophilia and pedophilia is like the ultimate taboo,
Yeah, but necrophilia and pedophilia are kind of more illegal, I feel like.
Those involve, but as far as what people consider, it's like it's toward the end. It's the last one of the legal.
I mean, at least scat
you're
play
out
is
there.
at least scat play is consensual.
Right, exactly. I mean, that is definitely the line between the other two, is that it's essential. But as far as just like people's regard for it, it's definitely one of the last stops out of town.
Oh, yeah. John Mark was amazing. I absolutely adored him.
None of that. I mean, I don't want to do any of that stuff, but I props to him because I thought there was nothing left on this God's green earth that would shock me. And those acts that they participated in had my fucking jaw on the floor. I mean, it makes sense now that I think about it, but just, I never really analyzed it too far about like, okay, scatology, what is that? Like what do people actually do when they play with their own shit? My creativity failed me in what this person has made manifest. So God bless this person, because I thought I'd seen it all and done it all, and apparently I hadn't. So that takes so much self-awareness and just so much sort of just self-confidence to live openly like that. And
I completely agree.
Give that person mad credit for it, and God bless. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, after hearing that, I'm like, wow, I'm pretty square. I'm like, that is like, talk about like it's like the second to last stop out of town, like you're referring to. It's like, there's no, if you're doing that, if you're into that. He was like, at one point, he was talking about how he was getting aroused talking about it.
He was talking about just wrapping the room with the plastic to get ready for a play scene. And he was like, ooh, I got a boner just talking about.
Any kink that you have, like the preparation is part of the thrill.
Completely.
It's like the planning, like what makes really like kinky fetishy stuff fun is that it wasn't spontaneous. Like you thought of this in advance and you've held this thought and you've done things in the world to bring it about. It's like it's on purpose, like there's some porn, that like, you look at a bukkake, for example, it's like that takes like organization. This isn't just something, bukkakes just don't break out,
Exactly.
The fact like this woman that's going to do this thing like knows and has been told in advance and has like sat with this idea and like showed up for it knowing full well what's going to happen. All of that is hot. It's like all the intellectualizing that goes around any sort of kinky thing is almost as fun as the thing itself.
Yeah, which you realize it's always about the journey and not the goal, so enjoy what you're doing as you're doing it, because
it's I mean, just like an acting in service and facilitation to your particular proclivities is like it's exciting, it's fun, it's stimulating, and it's like affirming.
Yeah,
totally,
completely.
So do you have I mean, you had some bangers there with those stories. Jesus.
I mean, I know I sent Sucklord the questions ahead of time, but I feel pretty much you've checked off every box except for maybe two. But if there's anything you want to tell us on top of what you've already delivered, and mind you, this episode is coming out the second week of January, so I just want to say you're welcome to the audience for us bringing on somebody who's made me laugh so hard that I was crying.
Yeah, great stories. I mean, just absolutely hilarious.
I'm glad to be able to sort of like put all these disparate chronicles, together in like a single folder where they all kind of can live on in perpetuity. I think I've tapped it. I mean, the only other subject that I don't think we touched on yet is like colonics and stuff like that. I mean, I am definitely into those. Do you guys do those?
I haven't done a colonic in a while.
Yeah, me either. I haven't done one. I did one a long time ago.
Like I go to this place called the Aqua Star.
Oh, I think I go to that place.
Yeah, there's like this Russian lady that runs it.
I love her.
Yeah, she's all business, but she's very nice. And it's just, there's something so weird and like almost natal about like laying on your back with this pipe up your ass and this matron, and like you're vulnerable, and this matronly Russian woman is there just like pumping hot water up your ass and like rubbing your stomach and talking to you and like just pushing and massaging it, like no shame at all, and just like
I love her.
All that impacted feces, and then you can see it like going through the clear tube, like like you just don't see anything. You don't see anything. Then you see this one little pebble, and then this one little flake, and maybe just like a few little bits of debris, and then suddenly it's just like how you're passing, and then suddenly the whole tube, which was clear, just turns opaque black, and just like just this like torrent of just like ancient feces just passing through this like subway tunnel, going into wherever it goes, into the great beyond, into the oblivion where they keep the doo-doo for in the Akashic records.
Yeah, right. The record.
Oh my God, it always feels so good. Like you lose like a couple of inches off your stomach, and then the next couple of times you take a shit, it's just like boom, it's like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, just slides
the Holland Tunnel. I haven't had one of those in a couple of years, but I highly recommend those. They say you're not supposed to get them too frequently because it like clears out all the
good bacteria.
Yeah, but I think like once a year is probably fine.
Oh yeah.
I would love to have her on the show. That's the woman I used to go to, and I used to do like the 3 package where you'd buy like 3, and I would go like once a week for like 3 times in a row. And I remember like the first one, she'd just be like, "You're the gassiest person I've ever seen," because it'd just be bubbles coming out. And then by the third one, it was just like, I lost once 4 pounds. Like I weighed myself before and after. It was like 4 pounds of shit just kept coming out.
Lugging that around in your guts is like, what, carting around like 4 pounds of impacted feces. It's like cement.
Yes.
Yeah. There's people that die that like have way more than that. So
sometimes they have to surgically remove it. I've heard people have had like a doctor cut open their large intestine and like remove like these bricks of ancient feces that have become petrified.
Yep.
Be like fucking the fossil record of just what were you doing?
It's like when you look at a tree ring, you're just like, damn, how long has it been in here?
They find like the little dinosaur DNA in there.
That's funny.
Sucklord, before we go into our 2 last segments, can I ask you what's your favorite brand of toilet paper, and do you put it on the roll, over or under?
Oh God, this stupid question. Listen, you're not gonna like. I don't really have much of a preference for toilet paper. Like usually I don't use much toilet paper. I just like wipe one quick, sort of first wipe after, and then I go immediately into the shower. I mean, usually I prefer to use a bidet. When I was in Japan, I didn't use any toilet paper. They have those incredibly futuristic toilets, and I use like my preference is to just like wash my ass with hot water and soap. So I don't really fuss too much over the toilet paper. I buy like Scott tissue at the bodega for like $1.25 a roll. I don't need that fancy perfumed cushiony cottonelle shit, whatever. And as far as like front and back, it doesn't fucking matter, bro.
Oh,
sometimes it's in the front, sometimes it's in the back. It's however it comes out. It's like, it's not like, it's like a difference of 3 inches, where I'm going to grab the toilet paper. I don't care if it's in the front or the back. I mean, I never understood this question because people really stand by their answers. Who fucking cares? Is it an aesthetic thing? Is it just because it looks a certain way, or is it a utility thing? Because how hard is it to just fucking spin the roll until it falls a little closer to the floor and just pick it up? You got to fucking fuss around. Like, why does it matter? I think it's a false argument, false choice.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. When we first started this, I was like, I had a preference of under, and it's gotten to the point now where just like sometimes I'm like, I just look in the bathroom, I'm like, whatever, as long as there's toilet paper on the roll, I think I'm good. But now, I mean, I don't know, I'm with you. I'm like, now I don't really have for the sake of this show, I'm an under camp, but day to day, I don't give a shit.
What's the qualitative difference, really?
I think people just have like a way of like, there's just like, this is like your favorite sports team or something. Like they have like a specific way that they want it. This is the way they like it, the way that they want to see it. I mean, I don't know.
People go to war over this sometimes.
Hell yeah.
And it's like as if it's some kind of value judgment if you don't like to have the toilet paper the way you want it. I personally feel like if I was going to pick a choice, I'd probably pick it on the outside because it's easier to grab. It's closer. I don't have to like bang my knuckles on the wall when I'm trying to get the paper. I could just give it a little spin and there it's hanging off, and I can just rip off a square or 20 and like get in there and just like fucking handle it. And You got to be. It's like there's nothing worse. I mean, you got to be careful. Like you use too much toilet paper, and then you get your toilet clogged, and then I've had some horrible battles, with clogged toilets. Where like that brown water is just building. It's coming right to the edge of the bowl, and it's like, oh my god! Like get that plunger in there, and just like, oh my god.
I think what you need is you need to get a snap-on bidet for your toilet. It'll change your life. It's like the best thing ever. Once I got that, it like completely changed my bathroom experience.
Yeah, those are the ones to get. You don't like, I've been in France, and it's like a whole other unit. It's like, what, I got to get off the toilet and then squat over this other toilet bowl.
Yeah, so stupid.
There, it's just like, why is it like that? Why couldn't you combine them somehow?
You could sell more. You could sell more on product. Well, you got to have two.
I guess. I don't know. I think the Japanese have it.
Oh, 100%.
They killed it.
What's the other question?
The only other thing is, what was the worst bathroom you've ever seen?
Oh yeah. I don't know. To be honest with you, nothing really comes to mind. I mean, probably some of the worst bathrooms I've ever been to are just porta potties at the end of the day at like a rock concert somewhere. Those things are just barbaric. Sometimes like you go, or especially go into these ones, where it's just like, who goes to like a outdoor festival with shit in their guts? Like, because what you're gonna have to do. It's like, I've been drinking all day, and now it's like 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna go take a shit in this fucking plastic room, and it's just your ass is just hovering over this literally like a lake of feces. It's just like you go into these places, and sometimes the stench is just like like you can't even breathe. You can't even fucking breathe. And I'd rather shit in my fucking pants again than one time. I mean, I guess probably another terrible bathroom I was in was on the Funghua bus. Remember the Funghua bus?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinatown bus from Boston from New York to Boston. I was going to Boston, and and like the bus is hot and it's miserable and it's gross, and I got to take a piss, and I go into the bathroom, and the toilet doesn't have any water in it. Like there's no water in the toilet. It's like one of those toilets that has like the metal flap.
Yes.
Those are somewhat civilized, like an airplane toilet. It's like it's a porta potty, but at least there's like a flap there. But anyway, there was this massive cable that had been sitting there for so long it had turned white. They hadn't cleaned the bathroom. There was no water in the bathroom. You couldn't flush the toilet, and the shit was like dried. It was just looked like this, like petrified wood or something like that. And I'm just there, and I'm just like, I gotta piss, so I guess I'm just gonna piss all over this like, calcium.
Hope to rehydrate it.
Yeah, to rehydrate, to reconstitute. So I was like, I'm trying to like use my piss as like a laser beam to sort of like it just cascaded off the thing and didn't move it. That could have been there for fucking years for all I know.
Oh God.
Well,
but
that is an awesome segue into our shitty choices segment.
Shitty choices.
All right. I've been dreading this.
Okay, so
Whoa, no.
Since you're known in the world for doing bootleg toys, and you mentioned porta potties being the worst, this is like kismet. This choice, I should say. So, first choice is you walk around with an action figure or toy up your ass for a full day, like doing errands, going to the back, whatever you got to do, 24 hours, or you can fish out 10 grand from an overflowing porta potty with your bare hands. No mask, no gloves, or any kind of special clothing.
The 10 grand.
The 10 grand. I'm talking like overflowed, like it's in there. You just got to get it.
How far down is it?
I don't know, man. It's like imagine like a porta potty at the end of a festival that's completely coming out of the fucking toilet, just like all over the place.
The thing is, these things go.
They go deep. Yeah. I don't know where it is. You just got to fish for it. No mask, no gloves, and no special clothing. Just whatever you got on that day, that's the shit you got to use to get it out.
Is there a shower on site?
I mean, okay. Yeah, well, in this case for you.
Once I get the money, is there a shower right there, or do I have to just like live? Like, do I have to get home after this?
No, you got to get home. Like, you're like, I got to take a subway or Uber or something or walk it. And the 10 G's is in like a plastic bag. That's the only clean thing. It's like completely safe and clean
10 grand. I mean,
Tax free.
having the action figure up my ass is like really no problem, to be honest with you. I could do that, and it would only probably be, it depends on what action figure it is. What figure are we talking here? Like if the vintage Stormtrooper.
Well, this is the best. I'm talking, this episode is so awesome because the interview going into this shitty choice, going into my news story, it's like everything's lined up. I'm going to say it's a Buzz Lightyear up your ass with the wings out.
All right, no. At least, I mean, the thing is, those are both unpleasant choices, but at least one of them has a financial reward. So I'll take the 10 grand.
Okay.
I mean, it's embarrassing to admit that like I'm that cheap, that 10 grand is enough to motivate me to degrade myself in that regard. Because I know there's plenty of people in the world that would just be like, no, fuck that. That's not enough money. But yeah, sure. What the fuck? I mean, yeah, let's go with the 10 grand.
Okay. One for 10 grand.
The question about would you rather shit your pants every day or raise 4 kids?
That's
That has no answer. There's no answer to that. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna fish out the 10 grand.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Woo. That's going to be a smelly situation, but kudos to you, my friend.
Hey man, it's not my fault that I'm forced to live under capitalism.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It makes it looks like that attractive in the first place,
When I was writing out these questions or choices, I for a second thought about the 10 grand, but then I'm gonna have to go with the action figure. I figure I can get by with that.
A Buzz Lightyear with the wings extended. That's gonna cause.
That was for you, my friend. I think for me, I'd go like Han Solo, maybe Chewbacca.
Yeah, I mean, like a vintage Chewbacca. It's
pretty big.
It's narrow. It's got it's round at the top, so it would go relatively easy, and it's not that big.
What's that? What was that one serpentine kind of general that had the flat head that's sort of like curved up like a J? What was that?
Hammerhead?
Hammerhead, yeah, the Hammerhead guy.
Oh, that would be hard to get up your ass.
It's just, I think the thought of fishing out in a full porta potty with all the porta potty juice in there on top of the shit and the piss, I think I would pass out from the smell and puking. I think it would just like,
I'd probably puke too. But the thing is, at least there's like a goal,
agreed.
I mean.
But my thing is, you're walking, and you're not thinking about, I mean, obviously the smell, but I mean,
once
you grab it, and then I think I'd be puking more than once. I think I would pass out. I think I would literally almost pass out, if not pass out. My fear is that I pass out face first into the porta potty. Then to get home, let's say I got the cash, even though the cash is wrapped up in plastic, I got to get home now, and I have to walk because there's no Ubers picking me up. I mean, maybe I get lucky, walk through a fountain somewhere I could just hop through.
I'm not saying this would be easy. It would probably be one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do in my life. But like I've had to deal with shit. We all have. It's like somehow I think you get to that point, that transcendent point where when the endorphins kick in and like there's no way out but through, and just sort of like this resolve kicks in. It's like get to the other side of it somehow, hopefully. Or you could pass out in there and drown and die.
I thought about it. I really did. But I'm going to go with the action figure.
Okay.
I have a couple questions about this. Is the action figure completely up your asshole? Or is there a way to easily pull it out?
I'm talking like if you were fucking yourself with a sex toy, it's just in there. Like, I mean, again, in there, you jam it in there, you put your pants back on, you go about your day for 24 hours. It's in there.
But like a butt plug, which is designed for that, it doesn't have a flanged base.
This is the point. This is where I'm getting to at with my line of questions.
Well, this is why this is a horrible choice. It's just it's a toy. It's up your ass. I mean, look, if you want to have it sticking out a little bit, so you can grab it, fine. But it's up there.
Well, but that's why my line of questioning is important, because I see both shitty choices as you're going to end up in the hospital. The action figure is going to go up and get stuck, or you're going to be covered in disgusting stuff where you're going to have to get like tetanus shots and probably STD shots.
Yeah, but you get 10 grand at the end of that.
Exactly. That's why I'm picking the 10 grand. because the action figure seems too easy. But with 10 grand, I will pull it out and I will pay somebody or just hire an ambulance. What an ambulance in New York is like $2,500. I will get an ambulance to take me to the hospital, get hosed down, and then I have still.
You're gonna have to get someone to call that number for you, 911, because there's no way your fingers are gonna be able to use your phone.
Yes, of course, but people will call 911 for me, or probably I bet $1 million or $10,000 that I would be like, say to just somebody, hey, I'll give you $1,000, drive me to the hospital right now. Somebody would do that in a second.
Just go to the fucking bodega and buy like a gallon of fucking water and dump it on me.
I need more than that. I need to be.
I think you're gonna need more than that. I think you need a hose.
But at least, like, if I got a ambulance, I still have $7,500 left over, tax free. I'm going on vacation.
I mean, I don't know.
A nice
vacation. I think that's. I mean, yeah, look, that's your choice. That's great. I mean, also, this isn't real world stuff here. But let's just say, we got 2 for digging the shit out, $10,000 out of a porta potty, and I'm going with toy.
Don't they have
Chewbacca?
Tried to find for this podcast. There are these doctors that like supposedly have these collections or these like museums in hospitals of all the weird stuff that they've had to remove from people's assholes.
I mean, we've had one doctor on who's told us that about all the weird stuff that they had to take out of a butthole, but they didn't elaborate and say that they kept the stuff.
Supposedly there's this urban legend where St. Vincent's Hospital, which isn't there anymore in the West Village, they had like a private museum of just, because also St. Vincent's Hospital was in the village, during the heyday of the gay culture, and apparently that they would just get people would be coming in there all day every day pulling all kinds of bizarre stuff out of their ass, and they kept all of it and put it in a sort of display case.
Wow.
Well, I don't. This is amazing because my news story has to do with that.
Okay,
whoa.
Okay,
here we go. Shock doctors were left with only their imaginations for answers when they were confronted with an x-ray of a patient with a Buzz Lightyear doll lodged right up his ass. The action figure, which comes from the film Toy Story, as we all know, even had its wings deployed and stretched out. And again, this is a visual thing, but they're showing the Buzz Lightyear thing with the wings out, and then it's like an x-ray in this guy's ass. Oh, now that's the reason this is such a great episode, because like each story, each segment went right into the next. What's great about this is this led me to, and I think we should have these people on the show. This came from a book called Stuck Up. 100 objects inserted and ingested in places they shouldn't be, by Rich E. Drebin, Murdoch Knight, and Marty A. Shindhane. So it's a funny collection of 100 x-rays showing foreign objects ingested and inserted in the human body on purpose. And then so I'm like, first of all, I ordered the book already. I got it for like $1.50 from Abe's Books. So that's going to come in the mail in the next week because I got to read this fucking thing. And then, but secondly, I mean, Buzz Lightyear wings stretched out in your ass. I don't get like how that was like, did they pop out while it's in the ass or pre?
It had to have popped out while it was in
completely,
the ass.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's a weird thing to stick up your ass because it's a very angular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, plus those toys were big.
Yeah.
I mean, they have different kinds, but it's like usually there were some chunky ass toys. It's like I couldn't get that up my ass. I mean, I couldn't even begin. I couldn't even breach the. Yeah. I couldn't even crown that thing.
I mean, set aside the jetpack portion with the wings. But like Buzz Lightyear, it's all bulbous at the top with the arms and everything, and it gets kind of skinny with the legs. But still, that's pretty hefty.
Those are very boxy arms and legs, So
totally.
Just like I don't know how. Like why? What's the criteria? When you're gonna pick something. Like I want to stick something really esoteric up my ass. Like what would be the what's like? What am I basing these decisions on?
I don't know. I mean,
what's in arms length?
once it was up their ass, then they guess the button got pushed and the wings opened, and then that's when they had to call 911.
No, someone's like, hey, Jerry can put awesome kinds of things in his ass. And he's like, I can go Buzz Lightyear. It's like, let's do it. And then it went wrong.
There's only one thing I gotta kind of question about this book of 100 things up people's rectums is our famous cartoon, award-winning cartoon about Matt Knife getting a double-ended dildo stuck up his ass. That's going to be in Humpfest. Check it out, people. 2022 Humpfest. When they took an X-ray, he said you couldn't see it.
And this was in a book. This was but that was a jelly like dildo, and it was kind of. I know.
Clear. I'm just saying.
But this was like a foreign object, all plastic. I imagine. I don't know. There's a picture of it. I'm looking at it right now.
I mean, he didn't say that his dildo was clear. He just said that it didn't come up on the X-ray. So, I mean, like maybe pieces of metal would come up. So I feel like it kind of could be like those videos where it was like the infrared camera with the farts and how we found out that that's totally fake.
I have no idea, but I just think that like the fact that someone put a Buzz Lightyear up their ass is kind of, it's insane, but also impressive.
Anything that you stick up your ass that's not supposed to be up there, it should have some way, like a butt plug, like a flange to bring it out. I do. Yeah.
Object ever created by humankind should have some sort of fail-safe feature. So if someone shoves it up their ass, get it out.
Yeah.
Well, and all just a side note to this, all the three people that wrote this book are doctors, so they've seen this all. Yeah, these aren't like just some random people. So
I mean, we should get those doctors on the podcast.
That's what I was saying. The authors of the book, we should have them on the show because I want to know at least one of them. There's three of them, so maybe we can get at least one. But I mean, they're talking about stuff that went like on the cover of the book's got like a picture of a cell phone, a gun, a carrot, a hanger. I mean, it's got the whole gamut.
Oh Lord,
the gun makes total sense.
I could totally see the gun. The gun, I could see that. 100%.
Like, guns are such objects of fetishism already that, like, obviously you stick it up someone's ass. That doesn't.
Yeah, agreed.
Dave, what's the book called?
It's called Stuck Up.
Oh my God, so ridiculous!
I just ordered it. Like I read the story like an hour before, and I was like, "Oh, I'm buying that book." And it was great because I'm like, "Oh, cool, $1.50." I'm like, "The shipping's gonna cost more than the book." But yeah, it's pretty amazing. They mentioned this woman put an eyeball in her vagina.
Oh, a real human eyeball?
Yeah. I mean, this is some of the stories, but like, that's not the ass. So yeah, that's hardcore. I'm just like, okay, like what?
little off the subject, but since we're talking about stuff of this nature, have you guys ever read the Leatherman's Handbook?
No.
Which is a book. It's sort of considered like the definitive like S&M guide for Leatherman, hardcore, leather daddy shit. And they were talking about all these really intense scenarios that these like really rich guys were creating, with their slaves and their doms and all that stuff. And apparently there was this is like urban legend, but they talk about this in the book. It's by Larry Townsend. I highly recommend it. There's like this a story about there was this S&M doctor. There was like a surgeon that was like really into kink and stuff like that, and he would do these scenes. And they had this sub, and they did this situation where the surgeon, this guy, they tied up the victim or the sub, and the surgeon cut open his scrotum and surgically removed his testicles, put the guy's testicles in his own mouth. And then he had to hold his own testicles in his mouth without biting them or swallowing them while they put him through this really rigorous S&M scene. And then when it was over, he reattached his testicles and sewed his scrotum back together. It's an urban myth, but this is supposedly the ultimate. These are the books that my mom was reading. My mom used to have an S&M business.
Whoa.
To make like nipple clamps and stuff like that. And like, there wasn't something that she was into personally. She just discovered there was a market for it. Mm-hmm. So she would buy these books for research. So she understood who her audience was. And these were books that were laying around my house when I was like 11 years old. So
the book report.
and we all wonder why you turned out the way you did.
Turns out pretty fucking good, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't have any real hang-ups about sexuality or anything like that, so it's like I grew up highly pornified, and I don't think I took any harm for it. I'm pretty in touch with my sexuality. So
have you seen the documentary Circus of Books? It reminds me of that.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's really good. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, well, okay.
Awesome. Well, since no balls and mouth on this show, but that's fucking nuts. And with that awesome,
Exactly, it's nuts.
yeah, right. He'll be here all week. Yeah. Well, Sucklord, thank you so much for being on our show, man. You were hilarious. I loved all those fucking stories. They were so great. And anytime you want to come back on, you have an open invite anytime you'd like.
I mean, I think I kind of said it all, but if something else, more stuff could happen in the future,
Yeah.
you know, and I'd love to check. I'd love to circle back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And please let our audience know where they can find you and where they can find all the wonderful world of Sucklord.
Basically, just look up Sucklord on all the social media, all the platforms, all that stuff, and you'll see what there is to see.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks again for laughing and learning with us. Everything but.
And happy pooping, everybody, and enjoy your butthole.
For more info, go to heypoopypodcast.com or email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com. You can send in show ideas, guest requests. Check us out on Twitter at heypoopy, Instagram at heypoopypodcast, TikTok, heypoopypodcast, and our awesome new Facebook fan page. Go check it out at heypoopypodcast. We're also on Discord at heypoopydumps, or you can contact us at our new awesome hotline, 203-998-5579.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect for Entertainment. Produced by Dave and Ellen. Edited by Dave. Executive producer Stormy Leather. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy!